Welcome to One Joke at a Time. I'm your host, Vinny Masagim, and in this podcast, we break down all the grind of stand up comedy. Yes, I'm driving right now. That's the time that I have to do that, so bear with me. I hope the audio is good, and let's keep going. I just want to give you a little bit of the background and why I'm doing this, because this is our very first episode, which is very nice. I'm very excited, and we're going to talk about my journey to stand up. I just started stand up. I'm going through all the difficulties of adjusting the time and the effort to really go for it and trying to achieve what I want to achieve, which is getting to headliner. Someday, some point, I'll do it. Promise you. That's why I'm here. So I'm doing this because I need to get used to ramping about stuff, ramping about what I'm wanted to do and thinking on my feet and driving right now and talking to you guys and focusing on both tasks is going to be good for me, I believe, to be able to do that on stage. I think that will translate. Okay. So I started stand up in 2021, November 2021. That's when I did my very first open mic. And since then, I did a few spots. I was not taking seriously. I was just trying to have fun. So I did probably 3 or 4 mics at the end of that year, just for fun. Because my idea is just to learn a little bit about the craft. And so then 2022, I did a little bit more, but I probably did once every month, I would say. Yeah, about that. Or every 2 months, I would drop in, do a little bit of open mic, like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and that was it. And I was writing a few things here and there. I was not really committed, but it was fun. I was having fun. Plus, I work for Blue Man Group, which is a great company, and I have a lot of fun working it. So I'm being a performer for them for 13 years almost, and I love my job. So it was hard for me to really commit to do that and do stand up, performing at Blue Man Group, and it was hard to do both, especially because I have family. I have 2 kids, wife, so it was impossible for me to do, take care of my family, do stand up, and perform as a Blue Man. So I did on a few mics on 2022, and then I dropped on 2023. It completely stopped. And then 2024, I did one mic here and there, just for fun again. One of my friends decided to go and do it. But the thing is, I couldn't. I want to see myself doing it. I even thought about in 2024 was or either go full on or not at all. So I decided to not do it because I couldn't commit, and I have this issue. I think is an issue. Like sometimes I don't know. It sometimes helps me, sometimes it doesn't. Where if I go in, I'm 100% in. I'm all in. I do everything that I can. I read books. I study. I practice. I give all my energy and effort to do something, and to get good at it. Right? I give all my energy to get good at it. And I felt like that I wasn't doing that, and I wasn't progressing the way I wanted to do it. So I decided to not do it. So I stopped doing stand up altogether. And I was just focusing on the show and my family. 2025 came along now, and it was a year that there's a bunch of change plans. My family is going through a transition. We're gonna move a few things, and I'm gonna have more time to dedicate to stand up, which is great. So all my off time now is gonna be dedicated to stand up. That's why I'm doing this podcast. That's why I'm practicing and getting a little bit more comfortable. And as I said that, I got invited to do an award, for which it happened a couple of weeks ago, and I did that award, and it was fun. I presented one of the awards, and I had a great time. It was in a comedy club. The award is for Comedy Reviewers Award, and they were very nice. They were very kind to me, and so I did their award, and we kind of talked about another project that he had. It was called Behind the Comedian, and she said she's interested in maybe putting me in the show. So I was very excited about it, and so I had to really go for it and commit to do open mics and get, my set together. So that's what I'm going to do. Talk about how was it now, how's the experience going from not doing for a year to basically having a few weeks to prepare my set so she could see it, because she want to see me performing it, because she never did. She saw a few clips online only, and she want to make sure that I can perform. And I went back. My first open mic was at the Dive Bar, and the Dive Bar is a great place. Actually, it's horrible to do open mics, but it's a great place for you to experience the open mic, because I would say like it's a horrible place to do open mic. It's just, I would say like 98% of the people there, it's comics, and you're lucky if you get one or two people there are not. You know what I mean? Besides the bartender, which he has heard and seen a lot of horrible shit over those years, probably there. So, but it's such a great bar. It's a great vibe. It's like the name speaks for itself. It's called Dive Bar. It's fun. It's a fun hang. The host is great. Josh is a great guy, and he hosts that pretty well. I love his tone, the way he approached the open mic, and I don't know. It's a cool hang. So that was my very first open mic, the Dive Bar. That's where I did my first one, and I wanted to go back. So I did my first open mic there back in 2025. I had to go there and perform. So I did. It was, awful. I was like very nervous because I haven't done it in a while, and I just wanted to get through my jokes and all that. So the mic went okay. We had, a few things here and there that I need to work on, and then the next day I went to a different mic. I went to Champagne's. I think that was my next mic that I did, which was fun. It was a great mic as well, but it's at midnight, so there's only a few people there. I think I worked that night, and then I went straight to the open mic, which is a good thing. I'm happy that's late, because I can perform still at Blue Man and then go for the open mic. So I did the open mic, which was a little bit better. It was a little bit more loose, and I was able to work on my jokes. And again, at least there was a little bit more people that wasn't comics watching that, and it was fun. But all that week was for me getting comfortable with my jokes again, and trying to find it, writing more stuff. So I've been doing like Champagnes, and I did on Wednesday I think I was working, and then Thursday I had other open mics here that I did, and I was trying to write new things and new jokes and rewrite the jokes that I had every single day. So in the morning, I was writing it, and then in the afternoon, I was like rehearsing it and trying to remembering the jokes and just going over and over in my head. And at night, I was either performing at Blue Man or doing stand up open mics. So that was my entire routine in the week. Of course, my family is still here with me, so I was splitting my time. I was taking care of my kids, doing the errands and going around town, doing stuff. Um, but basically, it was that, and I had a good time, and I needed to work at least like an 8 minute set. Um, But the second week went much better. Like the second week, when I was back into those places that I did in the first week, I felt a little bit more comfortable. The jokes were landing a little bit better, and I was able to manage to play with some of those the positioning of the jokes in the set, and try to come up with like a little bit of an arc, like from the beginning of the set to the end, even though it's only 5 or 8 minutes. But he had a true line where I was like making sure that they knew that I speak uh, English as my second language. Now put that joke right away and explain that from Brazil and stuff like that, which takes their mind out of trying to figure out where my accent is coming from, you know. So I put that out there, make jokes about my accent and the way I look alike, and then I go from talking about Brazil and where I'm from, and then I talk a little bit about moving here to US, the experience, and then I move on to talk about Blue Man. So you kind of have a little bit of an arc. At least in my mind, I could see that transition, and it would be easier for me to remember and know where to go from one step to the other. Um, that was my first experience with more working on and those 2 weeks, and I can go over a little bit more of the details of each joke, what what wasn't working or what worked. So right now, I just want to give you guys an update and present this first episode. Probably nobody's gonna listen to this, and it's all right because this is more an exercise for me than anything else. I want to be able to talk about those things and get comfortable talking in front of camera and knowing what I need to hit and things that I need to talk about. So I'm writing. I'm trying to write every day as a exercise as well, like to be able to get comfortable of sitting down for 1 or 2 hours, at least for now, and write things and work on my jokes and my set, and then spending some time like rehearsing and learning from it, and also reading a book. I just read a book. The book is called, let me see if I can remember. It's called Mastering Stand Up, and I think the author of that book is Stefan Rosenfeld, something like that. So he's great. I love this book, and it just helped me have a little bit of perspective of everything. You know, it gave me a big scope, I would say, about stand up and what I should be working on and how to structure the jokes. Even though I knew a little bit, but there was things that I didn't realize that I didn't know because I'm very new to that. So any kind of information or things that I can get, it's priceless. So I like I said, when I go in, I go all in. So I'm reading, I'm listening to podcasts, and listening to interviews, listening to stand-ups, watching online, and trying to get a good sense of and understanding where I'm going to. to where I'm putting myself through, you know. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you have a good time, and I hope you take anything with you. Next episode we have a guest, which is very exciting. He is a friend of mine, and I love him. He's such a talented performer. He's the reason that I did my very first open mic. He doesn't do a stand up professionally, but he does once in a while, and he's good at it. And I like the way he does his stuff, his jokes. But he's a talented performer. He works with me at Blue Man Group. His name is Alan Rushford, and I hope you guys enjoy the next episode. All right. So thank you so much. Let's keep going, one joke at a time.